Hello, Parkway Manor. We're back with a new chapter book. If you weren't with us yesterday, let me catch you up. We just began a book called Fortunately, the Milk, written by Neil Gaiman. And this is what we know so far. We know that there is a family of four, mom, dad, and two daughters. We know that mom had to go away on a business trip to present at a conference, I think, on lizards. And while she's away, dad, of course, is in charge. Well, he has to go to the store on the corner to pick up some milk for the kids so that they can eat their breakfast and he can have his tea. On his way, it takes quite a while, and when he gets back, the daughters ask, Dad, what took so long? Basically, he did run into someone from the neighborhood. But then the story gets a little bit crazy. We find out that while he's at the store, a spacecraft comes down and sucks him up. He meets these green globby aliens. While he's on the spaceship, he notices that there's an emergency exit. And of course it says, don't push the button. And what do you think Dad does? Push the button. Well, when he pushes the button, he ends up falling into the sea. And that's where he was picked up by a ship with pirates. And that's where we left off, where he's on the ship with the pirates. Get ready, the adventure only gets crazier. Here we go. I'm going to go back a little bit from yesterday. If you're going to be rescued, it will always be while walking the plank, Dad said. Which we don't do, said the Pirate Queen. Here, have a Spanish doubloon and come and join us in our piratical adventures. It's the 18th century, she added, and there's always room for a bright, enthusiastic pirate. I caught the doubloon. I almost wish that I could, but I have children, and they are waiting for me. They need their breakfast. Then you must die. Walk the plank. I edged out to the end of the plank. Sharks were circling, so were piranhas. And this is where I interrupted my dad for the first time. Wait, Dad, hang on. Piranhas are a freshwater fish. What were they doing in the sea, which is salt water? Oh, you're right, said my father. The piranhas were later. Right. So, I was out at the end of the plank, facing certain death, when a rope ladder hit my shoulder, and a deep, booming voice shouted, Quickly, climb up the rope ladder! I needed no more encouragement than this, and I grabbed the rope ladder with both hands. Fortunately, the milk from the store was pushed deep into the pocket of my coat. The pirates hurled insults at me. They even discharged their pistols, but neither insults nor pistol shot found their targets. Whew! And I soon made it to the top of the rope ladder safely. I'd never been in the basket of a hot air balloon before. It was very peaceful up there. The person in the balloon basket said, I hope you don't mind me helping, but it looked like you're having some problems down there. I said, You're a stegosaurus! I am an inventor, he said. I have invented the thing we are traveling in, which I call Professor Steg's floaty ball person carrier. I call it a balloon, I said. Professor Steg's floaty ball person carrier is the original name, he said. And right now we are 150 million years into the future. Actually, I said, we are about 300 years in the past. Now, do you like hard, hairy, wet crunchers? The professor asked. You mean coconuts? I named them first, said Professor Steg. He picked up a coconut from a basket and ate it. The shell and everything. just as you or I might crunch toast. He showed me his time machine. He was very proud of it. It was a large cardboard box with several pebbles on it and stones stuck to the side. There was also a large red button. I looked at the stones and I said, "Hang on, those are diamonds and sapphires and rubies." "Actually," he said, "I call them special shiny clear stones, special shiny bluey stones, and, let me guess, special shiny red stones?" "Indeed," he said. "I called them that when I was inventing my really good moves around in Time Machine. 150 million years ago, that is." "Well," I told him, "it was very lucky for me then that you turned up when you did and you rescued me. I'm slightly lost in space and time right now, and I need to get home in order to make sure my daughters get milk for their breakfast." I showed it to him. "This is the milk. Although I expect 150 million years ago, you probably called it wet, white, drinky stuff." "Dinosaurs are reptiles, sir," said Professor Steg. "We do not drink milk." "Well, how about breakfast cereal?" I asked. "Of course. Dinosaurs love breakfast cereal," he said. "You know, especially the kind with nuts in it." "Well, what do you have on your cereal?" I asked. "Orange juice mostly. Or we just eat it dry. But I shall put this in my book. In the distant future, small mammals put milk in their breakfast cereal. I shall write a wonderful book when I return to the present. Actually, I think this is definitely the past. It has pirates in it." Now here's a picture of the professor. "It's the future," he said. All the dinosaurs have gone up into the stars, leaving the world to mammals." "I wondered where y'all went," he said. "The stars," the professor told me. "That is where we will have gone." So I said, "Can you please take me home?" "What does that mean?" "Well, yes, no. Wait a minute. Yes, I would love to take you home. Nothing would make me happier, of course," the professor said. "And no, I cannot take you home. In all honesty, I do not believe that I can take me home. My time machine is temperamental. I need a special shiny greeny stone. I've pressed that button many times, but nothing happens." "Button? Don't you mean big red flat pressy thing?" I asked. "I most certainly do not. It is called a button. I named it after my Aunt Button." "Okay, well, can I press it?" "If you wish." I pressed the button. The sun shot around the sky, and the sky started to flicker in nights and in days. And the balloon began to rock and lurch and zoom around like an angry fly. I held onto the ropes as hard as I could. Fortunately, I was still keeping tight hold of the milk in my right hand. When we stopped being blown all across the sky, it was night, and according to Professor Steg, we had only gone back about 1,000 years. The moon was nearly full. "I'm even further from my children and our breakfast," I said. "But you have your milk," the professor said. "Where there is milk, there is hope. Ah, over there, that looks like a perfect landing platform for time-traveling scientists in floaty ball person carriers." We landed on the platform and got out. The platform stuck up out of the jungle and had flaming torches on each side. There were people standing on it with very black hair and sharp stone knives. "Is this a balloon landing platform?" I asked the people. "It is not," said a fat man. "It is our temple. We had a very bad harvest last year, and we had just asked the gods to send us a sacrifice to make sure that this year's harvest is better. When you floated down in that thing, with your monster." Thank you, by the way, said a little thin man. I was going to be the sacrifice if no one else turned up. Much obliged. So now we will sacrifice you and your monster. No, my children are waiting for their breakfast. Look, I've got milk. Why did they all just fall down to their knees? Asked Professor Steg. Is this usual hairless mammal behavior? Perhaps I should hold up some hard, hairy, wet, white crunchers and see what happens. Coconuts, I told them. They're called coconuts. What is that you're holding? The one man asked. Milk, I said. Milk, they exclaimed, and they all knelt down to the ground. Probably wondering why. We're going to stop here today, and we're going to continue on Monday to find out why everyone is kind of worshiping milk. That's crazy. Stay tuned. We'll see you Monday.